Hi, you can download the Expert Advisor that is built in this video and use it for your own AI codebase by just clicking on the link below.
In this video, we are going to create an Expert Advisor that uses the Williams percent range indicator to generate buy and sell signals, and then manages those positions with a trailing stop based on recent highs and lows. Let's see how we can do that. We start Metaeditor by clicking the little icon or pressing F4. This opens the Metaeditor where we can write our MQL code. First, we need to include the CTrade class from the standard library. This provides simplified trading methods like PositionOpen and PositionModify. We do this with the include statement that points to Trade.MQH. Next, we create an instance of the CTrade object with default parameters. This object will manage all our trading operations, including position management. We name this object Trade. Now we set up our strategy configuration parameters. These are all values that can be adjusted in the EA properties. We create an input integer called LookbackBars with a default value of 50. This determines the historical range for highs and lows, using between 1 and 1,000 candles. We add another input integer called MinCandlesBack with a default of 5. This sets the minimum age for valid highs and lows, ranging from 5 to 50 candles. Then we define an input double called TrailingOffset with a default of 10.0. This is the safety distance for our trailing stop, measured in points from 1 to 20. Finally, we add an input integer WPRPeriod with a default of 14, which is the Williams percent range period. We declare our global variables and handles. These store state between ticks and hold our indicator data. We create an integer called WPR handle to store the Williams percent range indicator handle. We declare a double array called WPR buffer to hold the WPR values. We create an MQL rates array called price data to store OHLC price data. We add two Boolean variables, prev bullish signal and prev bearish signal, to track the previous signal states. The expert initialization function on init runs once when the EA starts. Here we create the Williams percent range indicator handle using the built-in IWPR function. We pass underscore symbol for the current symbol, period underscore H1 for the hourly time frame, and WPR period, which we defined earlier. We configure our arrays as time series using arrayset as series, which puts the newest data at index 0. We do this for both WPR buffer and price data arrays. The function returns init underscore succeeded to indicate successful initialization. We create two functions for opening positions. The open by position function executes market by orders. Inside this function, we get the current ask price using symbol info double with underscore symbol and symbol underscore ask. We then execute the buy order using trade. Position open. The parameters are underscore symbol for the financial instrument, order underscore type underscore buy for a long position, 0. 10 for the position size in standard lots, which equals 10 micro lots, ask price for entry at current ask, 0 for initial stop loss, which means disabled, 0 for take profit, also disabled, and WPR position as the position comment. The open sell position function executes market sell orders. Similar to the buy function, we get the current bid price using symbol info double with underscore symbol and symbol underscore bid. We execute the sell order with trade. Position open, using order underscore type underscore sell for a short position, 0.10 for 10 micro lots, bid price for entry at current bid, 0 for stop loss, 0 for take profit, and WPR position as comment. The main function on tick runs on each price update and contains our core strategy logic. First, we retrieve historical price data using copy rates. We copy H1 candle data for the lookback period, passing underscore symbol, period underscore H1, starting from position 0, copying LookbackBars number of candles into our price data array. We then load Williams percent range values from the indicator buffer using copy buffer, copying from WPR handle, buffer 0, starting at 0, for LookbackBars into WPR buffer. We check position status to determine if open positions exist and their type. We initialize has open position as false and current position type as position underscore type underscore buy as a default. We search through all open positions by iterating backwards from positions total -1 to 0. For each position, we get the unique ticket number with position get ticket. We check if the position belongs to the current symbol using position select by ticket and position get string with position_symbol. If found, we set has open position to true and store the position type using position get integer with position_type, then break the loop. We check for WPR signals. A buy signal occurs when WPR crosses above -80 from oversold territory. We check if WPR buffer at index 1 is below -80 and WPR buffer at index 0 is above -80. A sell signal occurs when WPR crosses below -20 from overbought territory, checking if WPR buffer at index 1 is above -20 and WPR buffer at index 0 is below -20. For the buy condition, when bullish signal is true and prev bullish signal is false, we check if no positions exist. If true, we open a new buy position using open buy position. If a buy position already exists, we identify the low point for trailing stop. We use ILowest to find the index of the lowest low in the lookback period 4_ symbol and period_H1 using mode_low for LookbackBars starting from 0. We store the last low value from price data at this index. The trailing stop conditions require the low to be at least MinCandlesBack old and current close price to be above this low. If conditions are met, we calculate the new stop level as last low plus trailing offset multiplied by _point, then call process trailing stop with this level and position_type_buy. For the sell condition, when bearish signal is true and prev bearish signal is false, we check if no positions exist. If true, we open a new sell position using open sell position. If a sell position already exists, we identify the high point for trailing stop. We use IHighest to find the index of the highest high in the lookback period, using mode_high for LookbackBars starting from 0. We store the last high value from price data at this index. The trailing stop conditions require the high to be at least MinCandlesBack old and current close price to be below this high. If conditions are met, we calculate the new stop level as last high minus trailing offset multiplied by _point, then call process trailing stop with this level and position_type_sell. We update the previous signal states by setting prev bullish signal to bullish signal and prev bearish signal to bearish signal for the next tick. The process trailing stop function manages trailing stops for both buy and sell positions. It takes new stop level and POS type as parameters. We loop through all open positions backwards from positions total -1 to 0. For each position, we select it by ticket number using position get ticket and position select by ticket. We filter positions to ensure they match the specified position type and belong to the current chart symbol. We get the current stop loss value using position get double with position_SL. For buy positions, we update the stop loss if the new level is higher than current stop or if no stop loss exists. For sell positions, we update if the new level is lower than current stop or if no stop loss exists. We use Trade. Position modify with the ticket number, new stop level, and 0 for take profit to apply the changes. We press F7 to compile the code. If this was too fast for you or if you don't understand what all the code is doing, you maybe want to check out the premium course on our website or watch one of the basic videos first. We go back to Metaeditor by pressing F4 or clicking on the icon. Back in Metaeditor we press Ctrl and are to start the strategy tester. We pick the expert advisor that we have just created, enable the visual mode and start a strategy test. We should see the expert advisor on the chart. If you are already a premium course member and have an idea for a video like this one, you can send us an email. In this video we have learned how to create an expert advisor that uses the Williams percent range indicator to generate trading signals and manages positions with a trailing stop based on recent price extremes. You have coded an expert advisor yourself with a few lines of MQL code that can automatically identify oversold and overbought conditions, open positions accordingly, and protect profits with a dynamic trailing stop mechanism. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.